Welcome, ZASLOW Show 2.0. It is a Wednesday, the 12th of April. Good to have you aboard. We are a Blue Wire podcast presented, as always, by Anidjar and Levine, accident attorneys. If you've been involved in any kind of an accident, first you call 911, got to make sure you're okay, and then you let Anidjar and Levine, accident attorneys, take care of the rest. You get the attorney on the phone immediately when you call 800-747-FREE. That's 800-747-3733. So, there was an accident that took place last night in downtown Miami, the Kaseya Center. Not the kind of accident that you're going to call Anidjar and Levine about, but the kind of accident where you feel like going into Friday nights, we're kind of waiting for this season to mercifully come to an end as the Heat get their shit kicked in, really, for 3 out of 4 quarters last night. 116-105, a pathetic performance from Miami in the play-in. Obviously, we're going to talk a lot about that today. Our pal Israel Gutierrez is going to join us coming up. We'll do a lot of NBA with him for sure. We got to update what's going on with our favorite little hockey team. So, not in the best mood, although I did go to sleep last night feeling better than I thought I was going to wind up feeling. So, there's no time to lose, all right? Let's get right after it here. That performance last night from the Heat was, make no mistake about it, that performance was completely on brand for this entire season. This is, and what I mean by that is, the Heat had an opportunity last night at home, and we know with, the 7th seed in the play-in, you got 2 chances to win 1. If you're the 7th seed, you got 2 chances at home to win 1. The Heat were granted an opportunity last night to feel real good about themselves, essentially going into the postseason, because technically it's not a playoff game, which is weird, but they had an opportunity on their home court to avoid a do-or-die situation against that. Look, I got news for you. That Hawks team sucks. There's no other way to put it. That team sucks. And the Heat were granted an opportunity, which they've had several times this year, and they blew it. And you know what? It's not even just that they blew the opportunity. They've been blowing these opportunities at home this year. The one that I always go to, the one that I always look at is that Brooklyn game, right? So the Heat, when they were starting to get going, they had a streak going here. They got an opportunity to catch number 6 Brooklyn and avoid this bullshit that they're going through right now. Or even catch number 5 New York, which that week, remember, they beat the Knicks. Great game in Miami. And then you had Brooklyn in town, and the Heat lost by 30. At home to Brooklyn. And I was like, you got a major opportunity here, right in front of you. And that's the performance that we got? And so, last night as well, you got a major opportunity. Hell, you knew the Boston fan base. There was a part of them that was scared of having to play Miami. Now, I told you, if it was Heat Celtics, I wasn't going to pick the Heat. I'd pick the Heat against Philadelphia. I wasn't going to pick the Heat against the Celtics, but I would pick them to give the Celtics problems. And you had a chance last night on your home court to take care of business against a shit team. That Hawks team sucks. And you've kicked their ass for the most part this entire season, taking 3 out of 4 and shutting down Trae Young. But you know what? Trae Young, when the lights are brightest in the biggest games, he plays big. And last night, the Heat played very, very soft. No other way to put it. Very, very soft, the Heat played. That performance last night, that's what I mean when I say it was completely on brand for this season. They're small. They can't shoot. Their defense stunk. And presented with an opportunity to feel good about yourself going into the playoffs and maybe put a scare into whichever team you were going to face. In this case, it was Boston. They totally blew it. And now you go into Friday night. I mean, look. If you're a Heat fan, yes, they're at home. And yes, we'll find out tonight, are they playing Chicago or are they playing Toronto? Well, they were 0-3 against Chicago this year, 1-2 against Toronto. Both teams beat Miami in Miami this year. So there is no way that you go into Friday feeling good that the Heat are going to get out of that game. Hey, maybe you want them to lose Friday. Like I said, maybe you're ready for this season to come to a merciful end. Maybe the Heat are ready for this season to come to a merciful end because that's what it looked like last night. That performance was pathetic. That's not a Heat team that I saw last night. And I don't mean like last night they didn't look like the Miami Heat. This entire season, they have not looked like the Miami Heat. That was a soft team last night. They were abused. They were outworked. They were out-toughed last night. I don't know if that's a word, but let's roll with it. That was a soft performance last night. 64-39. They're out-rebounded. More importantly, 22-6 on the offensive glass. Pathetic. Pathetic. It's a disgrace. And by the way, if I didn't already mention, that Hawks team sucks. Terrible. That performance last night was a disgrace. And I'm gonna say something now, which I do not believe is hyperbole, okay? Honestly, I think last night was one of the most embarrassing losses this franchise has ever had. Yeah, I really believe that. One of the most embarrassing losses this franchise has ever had. When you take into consideration this entire season, how frustrating it's been, at times how pathetic it's been, you finally got a chance here. You got a home play-in game against a team that isn't any good. Let's get a little momentum maybe going into the playoffs. And not just to lose, but to lose with that type of performance. On national television, of course, it was a standalone game. That was one of the most embarrassing performances in the history of this franchise. And you know what? I believe, and I'm not even going to get on fans who feel this way. I don't feel this way, but I'm not even going to get on fans who feel this way. I believe there is a portion of the fan base that wants this team to lose on Friday. I do. Because losing on Friday, losing 2 play-in games, when you have 2 chances to win 1 and 2 chances at home to win 1. If they lose on Friday, that very likely gets the front office to look at major changes in the offseason. Not little changes, major changes in the offseason. So I believe for a fan base who's been saying all year, and hey, 4 years, this core's been together for 4 years. Jimmy, Tyler, Bam. 4 years is a long time in the NBA to have your core together if you don't eventually break through and win the whole thing. And this team's come close, finals in 2020, East Finals Game 7, 22. But 4 years is a long time. And to have the type of season that they had, and for it to end on Friday night the way that it would end on Friday night, would absolutely put a charge into the front office to blow this whole thing up. And there's a portion of the fan base, and I'm not saying they're wrong, that has wanted this thing to be blown up all throughout the entire season. If they lose on Friday, I think there's a good chance that happens. So I think there's a portion of the fan base that wants them to lose on Friday. And like I said, I'm not going to begrudge that part of the fan base. I don't feel that way. And also, I'm very emotional when it comes to that kind of stuff. When it comes to trading guys. And I'd be the worst general manager. I've told you guys that a million times. I'd be the worst general manager because I don't want to trade anyone. I'll trade the lesser players, but I never want to trade the big guys. I never want to trade our main guys. I get too attached. I'm way too emotional. I make it personal. I'd be the worst general manager. So that probably plays into a part as well where I don't feel that way. But if you feel that way, that you want this team... Now, you didn't necessarily want them to lose last night, but now they did lose last night. You want them to lose on Friday night because you know that will bring them one step closer to blowing this thing up. I get it. I don't agree, but I get it. I'm being dead serious. I think it was one of the most embarrassing losses this team has ever had. What a disgrace. Now, if I could add real quick, no joke, I like the play-in a lot. It's the first time our team's been in the play-in. I like it a lot. Like, I enjoyed the scenario going into the game, and throughout the first half, I mean, really in the third quarter when we started to make the run, we cut it to 4, I think it was. That was as close as we got. I was enjoying myself in that third quarter. I was into it. I'm yelling, I'm fist pumping. My son is into it, my son Jordan. We have a bachelor pad this week, me and my son Jordan, because my wife and my older son, they're on Passover break, so they're on a cruise this week. They went away without us. So we have a bachelor pad, me and my son Jordan. We're just a couple guys doing guy things. And so we're watching the Heat last night. We were both into that third quarter, very into it. I like the play-in. I like the one-off, and granted, it's not a one-off because Friday's now the do-or-die game, but even last night, and we'll get to the Laker game. We'll talk about it with Israel for sure. But I stayed up the whole Laker game last night. I can't tell you last time I stayed up for a 10 p.m. game. Laker game was great. And that's not a do-or-die game. Now, tonight you got a couple do-or-die games, and the Wolves are in a do-or-die game on Friday against the winner of tonight. But having experienced my team in the play-in, no joke, I like the play-in. I like it a lot. I was into it. Hey, if you want to get in touch with me, at ZASLOW Show on Twitter, at ZASLOWJ on Instagram, of course. But that performance last night was completely on brand for the Heat. They've been blowing opportunities all year. And I do think there's a portion of the fan base that wants them to lose on Friday. And I don't have a problem with that. I don't agree, but I don't have a problem with you guys feeling that way. Hey, ZASLOW, when are you going to mention Kyle Lowry? Okay, everybody calm down. Kyle Lowry was great last night. I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Heat wasted the great Kyle Lowry performance. Kyle Lowry was great last night. He essentially kept the Heat within striking distance at the end of that first half. The Heat were down 24. They go on an 11-0 run. and then you got, Max Strus, man. Then you get just such a stupid foul from Max Strus at the very end of the half. Trae Young makes 2 out of the 3 free throws. You go into the half down by 15. But Kyle Lowry kept the Heat in the game that first half. Boy, look at the secondary players for the Heat. You can't win like this. Max Strus last night, 1 for 5, 3 points. Gabe Vincent last night, 2 for 6, 6 points. Off the bench, Caleb Martin's been great off the bench. He's been great all season. 29 minutes, 0 for 3, 0 points. Victor Oladipo, 9 minutes, 0 points. And then you factor in, you had a lousy performance, not for lack of effort, but a lousy performance from Jimmy Butler, and a total no-show on the offensive end from Bam Adebayo. These numbers are scary. You got nothing from anyone else. Tyler was great. Tyler Hero was great. And yeah, Lowry was great. See, here's the thing, okay? And we went through this with the Dolphins this year, right? And it's so stupid. There's a portion of the fan base that would continue saying the Dolphins are 8-3, Tua's an MVP candidate, and you got a portion of the fan base that is still all about Tua's not the guy, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you're so entrenched in your position that you'd rather continue to be wrong than, you want Tua to fail rather than be wrong, which is ridiculous. And so with Kyle Lowry, I'm glad he played well last night. I got a text message late last night from Amber Wilson. Great girl. And, she was getting on about, I was going to have to give Lowry credit today if the Heat won. I want Lowry to play well. I'm glad he played well. If he plays well, then the team is going to do well. I want to be wrong about Kyle Lowry. Now, I was wrong about, I don't even know what I was wrong about. Lowry played really well. Team still lost. They stunk it up, so it is what it is. But I want Lowry to play well. I want the team to win on Friday and Lowry to have a great postseason and the Heat to advance far in the playoffs. That would be good. I'd be okay with that. I'd be totally great with sitting here telling you, man, I was wrong about Lowry. He really must have been hurt throughout the season because, man, did he show up in the playoffs. Now, that's not going to happen for one of two reasons. Number one, because either the Heat are going to lose on Friday, or number two, Lowry's a terrible postseason player, and he's not going to be good in the postseason. And last night, by the way, does not count as an official postseason game, so you go do the math. But I don't want to do that. I'm glad Lowry played well last night. I want him to play well, and he was awesome. Lowry came to play last night. Tyler Hero came to play last night. Boy, Jimmy was the drizzling shits last night. And like I said, not for a lack of effort, but my God, how many layups did he miss? How many shots around the basket did he miss? Bam was not interested at all in participating on the offensive end. And you know what? This is not the first time where Clint Capella does that to him. Clint Capella owned Bam last night. Bam is not good against those big physical centers. You know, Capella last night, he's not going to give you anything offensively, but 21 rebounds. Bam last night, in 41 minutes, you can't allow your counterpart to get 21 rebounds. Yes, Bam grabbed 9. That's fine. There's nothing special there. But Bam wanted nothing to do offensively last night. Defensively, he was good, especially when the Heat were making their run the third quarter. Defensively, he was good. But on the offensive end, See, Jimmy was lousy on the offensive end. Bam was a total no-show. That happens to him against those big guys. And we're going to, if the Heat lose on Friday, we're going to have that conversation all throughout the offseason. I mean, hell, I was getting it on Twitter last night. Bam's not a main guy. Bam's not a star. And you know what? It's weird because he had such a great stretch. It was like that 2-month stretch where he took that next step. He's becoming a star offensive player. And then post-All-Star break, where did that guy go? That guy's been missing. He left that guy in Salt Lake City with the All-Star game. Where did that guy go? I mean, I was saying throughout those 2 months, if we had this Bam Adebayo in the postseason last year, the Heat beat Boston. Well, we're back to the previous guy last night, and really the last month and a half. Where did that guy go? This is such a pathetic performance last night. I really do think a portion of the fan base wants him to lose on Friday. I really do. I don't agree with that, but I'm not going to begrudge you guys for feeling that way. Seems been blowing opportunities all year, and I do think a lot of us. Not me, but I do think a lot of us want this season to come to an end. It has not been enjoyable. And you really had a chance last night to get going, to feel good about yourself, going into a series with Boston. I'm telling you, plenty of Boston people did not want to see Miami. They are happy that it's the Hawks. They are going to F up the Hawks. They're going to wreck that. They're going to smash that team. And now the Heat are fighting for their lives on Friday night against one of two teams who they're a combined 1-5 against this year. Terrible. I'm obviously salty about it. But when life gets you salty, you make yourself a margarita, right? That's what people say. Well, when water damage gets you mold, you call or text Water Cleanup of Florida. Water Cleanup of Florida knows how an unexpected property damage, it'll overtake your life or your business. Well, not when you call or text Water Cleanup of Florida, 954-900-8635. The Water Cleanup of Florida team are prepared to handle disasters of all sizes, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Water Cleanup of Florida is also fully licensed, insured, and general contractor that provides you the one-stop shopping that all of us busy homeowners and business owners require. Their objective, make the cleanup and insurance claim process painless and hassle-free, serving all of the Tri-County area, Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County. You can check it out, WCUFL.com. Call or text 954-900-8635. If you don't believe me that the Greensteins are the best around, you can check out more than 80 5-star reviews on Google. 954-900-8635. Water Cleanup of Florida. We clean up your schmutz.